start with our next interaction. We have eminent filmmaker from Pakistan, Mr. Asim Raza. He's one of the most successful filmmaker in Pakistan. He has joined us. Along with him, we have Shahryar Munawwar. Yes, we have Shahryar Munawwar. He is also one of the most successful actor and producer from Pakistan. He has acted in many dramas and then films. And we all know beautiful Myra Khan, our most favorite from Pakistan.
Woo, whistles.
Yeah. So I'll start the interaction and then we all can take it forward. Asim bhai, I'll start first question, ask first question with you.
Yeah.
You are a director, a writer, a lyricist, a producer, and an entrepreneur. And before that, you were an architect. So your life has been an interesting journey throughout. How did you venture into the world of entertainment from being an architect?
Well, honestly, venturing into the world of entertainment, I would say the moment I started realizing things around me, I entered the world of entertainment because maybe I wasn't making films, but I was watching films very, very religiously and TV and any medium which would entertain the audience and was entertaining me thoroughly. And that is where I started realizing that I would want to be part of this industry because it talks to so many people in so many languages without making any effort. And, you know, it's not about forcing anybody to listen to you. It's like by default, people end up hearing you and following you and sometimes getting inspired by you as well. So, so that's what I would call, it was like bachpan ka shauk, like we famously say. But yes, unfortunately in Pakistan, films weren't as big or weren't looked at the point when I was growing up as a career which a young man should follow. So my parents also wanted me to take up something which is more promising or so-called promising. And hence I thought, you know, mother of all arts, architecture should be it, which would still will keep me connected with arts or art forms. But the first opportunity I got to jump from one boat to the other and get into a filmmaking scenario, I did that. And after finishing my master's in architecture, I worked for a couple of years, but then I opted for films, and here I am.
So, coming to the film which we are screening today, Ho Man Jaha is a very realistic film and a reflection of the mindset of current society. This topic is so common in every household, but thinking of making a film on it is very uncommon. So, how this subject clicked into your mind, and how was the process? How the process started?
Frankly, you just hit it on the head of the nail because this is exactly what I was thinking when I was trying to come up with this storyline, because I thought that we all go through this. We all go through it in our households. It's a story of me and you. But somehow we have never discussed it on the screen because when it comes to screen, we all try to think of something larger than life. But we never talk about life itself. And I thought, let's talk about life for once. And, you know, when you're starting, you know, your career as a filmmaker or you're saying your own story or first film, you do have that opportunity where you can be honest and you can share your feelings more honestly than thinking about box office kya kahega and log kya kahenge. And that's why I thought that I should be able to say it as purely as I could. And I'm really, really happy because, you know, I had these wonderful people who are sitting with us right now as well. Shahryar as the producer of the film as well as the actor, and Mahira, who believed in me, who was a big star already. But then when I shared my idea with them, they also felt equally excited and they said, yes, this is a story which would touch a lot of people and we have to say it. So I was part of a wonderful team, and that is how we could be so honest, pure, and still say it nicely.
This film was your first directorial debut film, feature film,
True.
which was the highest, one of the highest grossing film in Pakistan in 2016.
It's true.
Yeah, one of the highest. So, what is the reason, according to you, which made it so acceptable in the conservative society of Pakistan?
I would say, honestly speaking, just like any other society of the world, Pakistan is a society which is layered. And there are all kinds of people here, just like anywhere else in the world. So, we don't push the envelope, and that's why we keep complaining. And I think whenever anybody tries to push the envelope, you get encouraged, and so did we. And we got such fantastic, response, as you just mentioned, that initially we were also surprised, because I thought it's going to be something in between an indie film and a soulful drama. But the way people received it, maybe I was lucky to have some people who also make noise, rightfully so. They created their noise. Mahira Khan was there, Shehryar Munawwar, Adil Hussain, Sonia Jahan. They all added the color, which probably were the right colors, and that's what a filmmaker should be doing. He should tell good stories and put together the right colors so that it makes a lot more sense. But honestly speaking, Pakistan responded to this film fantastically well, is what I would like to say.
Sharia, coming to you. Sorry. You are both the co-producer as well as one of the lead actor in the film. Did you think this film would become such a big hit when it was being planned? What attracted you to produce this film as well as act? Sharia.
Well, to be honest, it was my first film, so I was just lucky to be a part of it. I had all these big names all around me. Asim, even before his first film, was already Asim Raza in the industry, because he'd made a big name for himself in the advertising world. If you had been working in Pakistan, you would have known that anybody, like when you start working, when you come into as an actor into the industry, every actor wants to work with him, and it's surprising because he was an ad film director, and people wanted to be in his ads because his ads were so big. And so I was just lucky to be part of that, and then to work alongside Mahira and Adil and Sonia was amazing. But then to have the opportunity to produce it as well, which was when Asim wanted to make the film, that's what he said, that would you come on board as a co-producer and work on this? So I was just lucky to be part of it. It was honestly a very steep learning curve for me, because I was, if I remember now, Asim, I think I was what, 25, 26 at that point. So it's pretty young, and I had AD'd Asim for about 3 years prior to that. So getting into the producer's shoe, it was very hectic and crazy, and trying to balance the two between being the producer and the actor was a little crazy. But then, like I said, I was just lucky to have such wonderful people around me, and Asim, even in the supporting cast, gathered like these wonderful actors, big names, all around us. So for me, it was a learning experience more than anything else. And I just walked into the film, and I thought to myself, I've gotten this opportunity to work with all these people. They're all these big names. I don't have anything to lose, so let's just give it your best shot. And that's what I took it as, one day at a time.
By the way, in real life, are you so impulsive as the character portrayed in the film?
Well, that's Harsh, that's just something we'll have to.
I'm going to wait for this answer. I want to see what you say.
No, I think there's quite a bit of a Shehryar in Arhan. There is. I'd just like to believe that nicer bits. When he's having his scenes with Mahira and Sonia, those bits, yeah, those are Shehryar. The rest, no, I think there's I think Arhan is very relatable to every guy, that age, my age, coming out of college. Everybody's really angsty. So I think it was just the angst that's in me, that's in all of us. I just picked a bit of all of you and put it in there. So I think it just doesn't have a bit of me, but it has a bit of every guy my age.
Okay. So you have also worked with Mr. Asim Raza in his latest film Pare Hatla as a producer as well as actor, which was Pakistan's highest grossing movie in 2019. So what is that according to you, which makes Asim so different from other directors in Pakistan?
Well, to be honest, Asim Asim's is, as a person, is a very sensitive person. Generally, in terms of anything that he does, and he's very detail oriented, and that shows in his work, you know. And to be able to work with him as a producer and as an actor is always a learning experience, because he's so detailed oriented, that the process becomes very interesting when you're working with him. The process is so much fun that you actually enjoy it, you know. From And he's a big believer of homework. So it's not just like showing up to the film and just doing the film and going. You know, he'll get you prepared for the film in terms of, okay, get you in the mindset, and then we'll work into it. So I think for me, it's Asim's sensitivity and his attention to detail that makes him, you know, one of the directors, you know, the director that I like to work with.
Myra, coming to you. I'll ask the same question to you. You have been a very popular actress in Pakistan, and you have often collaborated with Asim Bhai and delivered magnum opus, all the feature films. So, what is so magical about your combination with Asim?
Well, I mean, I guess, like Sherry said, I mean, I think he's magical. I don't know about me. I think that I think there are people that if you're lucky, you meet certain people in your careers who you just get, and they just get you. They understand you in ways maybe that other people cannot, you know. And if you're lucky, then they love you. And when someone loves you, then they're able to take out, you know, the magic that you're saying is that it's the love. So I think that is what happens between artists who collaborate and then somehow have fallen in love with each other in the capacity of being these artists, you know. I think that is what me and Asim, or I'd like to believe that that's me and Asim, is that even when I was young and I met him, and the first time I met him and did many ads with him, or even in Homan Jahan, or when I did, you know, a small part in Pare Hut, there's always, when I'm standing there in front of the camera and he's directing me, I almost know what he wants from me. And if I don't, that bothers me. So I then bug him. I usually am not too much of an actor who's like constantly doing that. But if I can feel that I'm not giving him what he wants, it upsets me. So I pick his brain and I'm like, so to know that, to instinctively understand that, yeah, Asim ko jo chahiye is waqt nahi mil raha. And to instinctively also understand that what he wants, I've given. So I think that's the magic of it. And once I've given that, then I just say, okay, I'm done. Even if I think that, you know, I could do better, I'll just be like, okay, if Asim likes it, I'm okay.
So, you portrayed a musician in this film.
Yes.
Are you, in real life also, you are so passionate about music? And if so, what kind of music attracts you?
I love music. I love music. I don't know if I'd be able to survive without music, to be honest. It just changes me. Like if you put out a song right now, I'm constantly moving to music. I like old Hindi film music. I like our old school Pakistani pop and Sufi music. I just like music. I'm a very big music fan, and I think I have a good ear for music also. Like I like I don't know, really don't know. Yeah, I really enjoy music, and honestly, even now when I listen to Homan Jahan songs, and it's rare, you know, that you have your own film songs constantly playing. You know, I'm sure people on set must think she's a real, you know, arrogant person. But Homan Jahan's album is one of those albums that I can play again and again and again. It's just such a wholesome album. I don't know. For me, it's one of the best albums ever made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of soul.
It's got so much soul. And then when I play it, let's say I'm getting makeup done or whatever, I start moving like how I used to move for Homan Jahan. So I had watched a lot of Nazia Hassan, you know, and unlike a lot of singers, she had no major expressions. Like she wouldn't do like, you know, none of that. It was it was as if she was like, I don't know, it was like she was just flowing and her hands used to flow, you know. So I had put a lot of that in, like, if you watch the film, you will see every time I would just have my hands up, like, so I tried to put in a little bit of Nazia Hassan in Manizir while she was performing, you know, just flowing. She would flow with the wind and sort of the music. So yeah.
Yeah, one question comes into my mind. You have never shied away from taking challenging characters, be it from Bol or Varna. So whether, like other actresses, were you ever bothered about maintaining your glamorous image and not challenging yourself too much as an actress?
No, I mean, the problem, I think, I don't know about other actors, but I think I can say this for people like myself who, you know, when you're, I think this works for everybody. If you put into a mold very quickly of being a glamorous or a pretty or a whatever, you know, then you're dying to break out of that. You know? Then you're just like, I'm going to prove it. So right after Humsafar, which was not at all a glamorous part, but I always felt like, okay, I'm not going to go for this girl next time. I'm going to go for something very opposite, like Shehrazad. And then after Shehrazad, I didn't want to do drama, so I did Bin Roy. And slowly and steadily, I just felt that, okay, I want to explore the paths that I'm getting, and that's why I did a Saat Din Mohabbatein or a Varna, and I'm glad that I did it, because I think, you know, I just feel that I don't work too much. Like, I do a film or two max a year, and I just want to be able to, you know, just like explore other sort of areas of acting. And no, I've never been. I'm not caught up in the I want to be glamorous or I want to maintain an image. Um, it works better for me not to maintain that image, I feel.
Yes.
But I have realized one thing, I have to say, after working with many people, I think maybe it's age, I don't know, but I feel like I just always have enjoyed working with people that, I don't know, I just want to go on a set which makes me happy. You know? So I think moving forward, I just want to pick a part that makes me happy and then be surrounded by people that makes me happy. And that is what is fun about being on an ASM set. You know? I know I'm going to be molly cuddled.
Wow.
I'm going to be looked after like a flower, you know? And then also get told off sometimes. Like Morris Nia. Yeah.
Okay, so we have Supriti with us. She is a jury member.
Hi everybody.
Hi.
Hi everybody. Thank you for being here. So Asim, I'm going to ask you something. When you wrote this film, was it a little bit autobiographical?
Yes and no, frankly. As I told you, yes, initially, what I wanted to really do from the day one, I wasn't really allowed to do that. But the good part was that I wasn't forced into something that I didn't want to do at all. So it's kind of biographical, but at the same time, I can say that there's so many friends, close friends, people around me who I know have gone through this. So it's like a biography, if not an autobiography, of a lot of people who were close to me, and I've seen them going through a lot of pain. And that is why I wanted to talk about it, because it's, as if you notice, there are three characters and they all are going through the same issue in life, although they belong to completely different strata of societies, they belong to different kind of family background, but eventually the issue comes to the same thing, that why music? Although we all love music, like Myra was saying, that music is something that we all enjoy and it's part of our lives and we love talking about it. But when it comes to my own child being a musician, we all of a sudden become skeptical of it, whichever part of the society I belong. And I thought, especially in Pakistan, where music is really big, and yet at the same time, this double standard of not willing to let my child go for it, but I'm willing to listen to other children doing it and appreciating them, was something which I thought we must discuss. and kind of focus on.
So, this is something that I find is unique to this side of the world, the South Asian side. Whether we look at this in India or in Pakistan or Bangladesh, बड़ों की इज्जत करनी चाहिए और वो जो कहते हैं उसको मानना चाहिए, उनके साथ तेज आवाज में बात नहीं करना चाहिए, which is teaching us about following the wisdom that elders in our society have. And so you're expected to respect elders to the point of being absolutely obedient.
True.
In an evolving society, which is what most of South Asia is today, because after independence, most of our countries have spent a good 70, 80 years trying to find our own feet. There's a lot of exposure that families have had to ways and traditions outside the South Asian region. Especially if you look at the West, it's very, very different over there, how children relate to parents. So we are an evolving society, and like you said in the beginning, it's all layered, right? So there are different layers and different kinds of acceptance, which I think you showed very beautifully in the different families that were there, the kind of relationship that is there between a parent and a child in Nadir's family or in Manize's family. She connects so well with her mother as if she's sharing a friend-like relationship. I thought you brought it out very, very nicely. And this is a film anybody who watches in this region will relate to, will connect with, right? So I want to ask both Shahryar and Myra, what is your take on this? And आपकी जिंदगी में कभी ऐसा मौका आए कि आपके बच्चे आपको बोलें कि मैं वो करना चाहता हूँ जो आप मतलब मेरी मर्जी के हिसाब से, I don't want to do what you are asking me to do. What will your take be at that time?
Myra, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. We do it the reverse way. We don't do ladies first.
Ladies first.
We don't do ladies first.
Oh, we don't do ladies first. Okay, so you want me to go first then? I think ये आपने बहुत एक खतरनाक सवाल पूछा है, बहुत ही ज्यादा लोडेड सवाल है. ये तो वो वाला सवाल है कि मतलब सेल्फ रिफ्लेक्शन वैसे भी हमें काफी टाइम मिला है करने के लिए. लेकिन I've always actually asked myself this question that the same things that I've done when I've been younger and I've expected of my parents, of people who are older than me, of people, of my friends and all of those things. Would I be okay if my kids are doing the same things? More and I think problem ye hai ki I would consider myself a bit of a liberal, but then I've gotten I'm very old school at heart as well. So kabhi kabhar wo खौफ भी आता है कि I don't become that same parent who is like that. But I think unfortunately हमारा जो South Asia जैसे आपने बोला, हिंदुस्तान, पाकिस्तान, हमारा जो एक माहौल है, हमारा जो नॉर्म्स है सोसाइटी की, वो है ही ऐसे कि आपको एक पावर डिस्टेंस है जो आपके बड़ों और छोटे के बीच में है. वो इनकलकेट किया जाता है बचपन से. और वो पावर डिस्टेंस सिर्फ एक तरफ से नहीं है कि सिर्फ छोटे को ऊपर रिस्पेक्ट करना है, बड़े को भी एक्सपेक्ट किया जाता है कि वो बहुत जल्दी बड़ा हो जाए. आप अक्सर आप मेरी वालदा मुझे कहती है बड़े हो जाओ. It's something that's often said. So it's an expectation of you as well when you
बड़े हो जाओ.
हाँ, ये बहुत फरमाइशें चल रही हैं बहुत टाइम से. But भाई मुझे तो आसिम उस दिन कह रहे थे कि तुम्हारी तो शादी नहीं होने वाली, मुझे लग रहा है. उन्होंने मुझे डरा दिया था. अब मैं बड़ा कैसे हूँ, शादी नहीं होगी तो बड़ा ही नहीं होगा मैं.
ये भी है. Actually, you're right.
Anyway, coming back to this, so I think it works both ways. You're also expected as an adult and as a parent in our society to act a certain way, and you're expected to be that nurturing, protective. We're expected to have that power distance. We're not expected to be friends with our kids. सो अनफॉर्चुनेटली हम लोग सारे अपने रोल्स में फंस जाते हैं, मुझे ये लगता है कि जब बच्चे होते हैं वो बच्चों के रोल में फंस जाते हैं, और जब सोचते हैं कि हम बड़े होके ऐसे नहीं होंगे, बट जब बड़े होते हैं तो यही सोसाइटी उन पे वो एक्सपेक्टेशंस डाल के उनको बड़ा कर देती है. तो I honestly really hope, and I've always told myself this because this is something I've thought about, that I become a friend to my children, and I've tried to do that with my younger brother. My younger brother is about 7 years younger than me. I've rather than being that elder brother. When my elder brother, God rest his soul, when he passed away, I decided that, even though I love my elder brother a lot, but we had a very strong older brother younger brother relationship, वही power distance. So I decided that, with my younger brother I'm going to be that friend जो कि उसे friends की तरह discuss कर सके चीजें. So to answer your question, I think you have to break both the roles. When I'm a parent, I really hope that I can break that role and be a friend.
Wonderful. Thank you. Myra, what do you have to say?
Well, I grew up with the very well. My mother and father both were quite liberal, I'd say, but my mother, I think, was a little bit more stricter. Sorry, with us. My father, on the other hand, always said to me, the world is yours, the choice is yours, but remember, every choice that you make has a consequence. So he said that to me actually very young in life. Hold on a second, Shahrazad, you can come in. By the way, the ED of the film has just come to see me, so this is really
Perfect.
Yes.
yeah. Okay, sit there. So yeah.
Is she gonna come in frame and wave?
Yes, so उनको भी बुला सकते हैं आप, उनको भी invite कर लीजिए.
must see
नहीं.
Please, if they.
She's too pricey, bhai.
And also, very
Camera
glamorous cat, so Sarah might fade away in front of her.
Exactly. So I think that's the kind of family I grew up in. Even though my dada and I was quite a favorite with my dada and dadi, and my dada used to say, "Ye wali bachchi PhD karegi meri," because I was a very good student and super, amongst the cousins and stuff like that. So I don't know how that would have gone down with him if he was alive, but I think it would have been okay. Because the idea was.
But you've done well. You're a know-it-all even now. हर चीज पे आपके लंबी स्पीच होती है देने के लिए. So
Intelligent actor हैं.
So I think So what I would tell my child is exactly, I think, what my parents told me, and they do that even now. My father does it even now. My mother does it. That listen, whatever it is that you do, one, you make that choice, you deal with whatever comes with it. But two, more importantly, whatever it is that you choose to do it with all your heart and soul. That's it. उसको अपना पूरा दे के आओ और फिर आओ घर वापस. So I think that is what is important, and I've been very lucky that my parents have done that and supported me. They're actually they're really the wind beneath my wings. I don't even realize it, but I think that is how it is. I mean, when I was very young, I wanted to go. I don't know if I should say this, but at one point in college, I was like, why am I studying chemistry and all this, And there was this, there used to be this acting school in Noida, out in outskirts of Delhi. Yes. I had full applied everything. And the only person I had told was my father. And I had said, Abba, I'm doing this. He's like, how are you doing this? How have you paid? I said, I've made enough money. I'm working. I've done this thing. And I've Western Unioned it. So, I think, honestly, I think we underestimate the role of parents in our lives. So I
want to ask you another thing, Myra. As a working mother, share some challenges with us.
You work double time. You work double shifts. If you are working a night shift, let's say, I'm working 9 to 6 in the morning. I've seen, most actors come back home and go to sleep. I come back and I have to be wide awake and fully present for my child. So I sleep very little. My brain, I think, because of that, works faster because I have to constantly be on it. Um, I, I, I have to prioritize. So the good thing is that I pick and choose what I will work on. I have many, many, many times, I wouldn't say lost work, but said no to some great work because it was too many days away from Karachi, where I live. Um, there are lots of challenges, but and in fact, just the other day, my ex-husband was over yesterday to pick up Aslan, and he said, "Dude, how did you manage this? Do you remember Aslan was just a baby during Goal?" And I said, "Yes." And I was feeding him. So while I was doing Hona Tha Pyar, I was feeding him. And imagine Atif Aslam was like, "What is this girl?" And I was a 24-year-old girl with a baby in my hands, in my arms. And now when I look back, yes, it was tough, but it wasn't impossible. And yes, it was challenging, but I'm a living example of the fact that you can do it. You can do it. So it's tough, though. It's tough.
And this is the beautiful part of our society's evolution, that especially in the film industry, we don't any longer have this thing of heroines get married and then, the career is sort of over. It's no longer that. I think in India and in Pakistan and other parts of the world, now we are beginning to see a lot of young women who are choosing motherhood. They're not postponing it because, figure kharab ho jayega, audience humko accept nahi karegi, all that. It's part of their life, and they have accepted it, and their audiences have also accepted them now. I think that's a beautiful part of the way even the film industry is evolving and going beyond some very rigid notions of.
I personally think that it's I think beyond the film industry. I think that as the narrative of a woman and what a woman is meant to look like, or how her life is meant to be, or what is attractive in a woman is changing. Because of that, because I mean, when the society or the culture of a society changes, as it changes, standards, set ways, they also change. Fortunately, in Pakistan, let me tell you, when Shoaib Mansoor called me, I think Aslan was maybe 2 weeks old. And so when he called me and he asked me if I'd like to be a part of Bowl, I said to him, "Okay, can I give me 2 days? I have to ask and, see, because you see, I have a little baby and I've just had a baby." He said, "But I didn't ask you about your family life. I said that, do you want to work in this film?" I said, "Yeah, but I have a baby." He said, "So what? We've always worked with children. So whether it was Bushra Ansari or so many others, they have always worked like that." So I think, and I think we have to make this normal, and yeah. So मैं तो, as my other director who always says, he's like, "तुम तो हम पे नाज़िली अज़लान के साथ हुई थी." तो मैं कहती, I was just like, I arrived with a baby in tow, accept it. So yeah, I think times are changing and it's a good change. I think it's
That's how all the women actually worked, in the construction industry, on the farms, they would carry their babies and work, whatever had to get done had to get done.
Sorry, may I say just the last thing? But Home and Jahan, I think it's so, like, there are things which are not out there and not, it's so layered, there's a single mother who takes care of this daughter. And so I mean, when do you ever get to see single mothers? And again, we're talking about how long has it been for Home and Jahan?
2016, 4 years, 5 years, 5 years.
Yeah. So there's a single mother, they all want to be musicians. I mean, I think we showed all kinds of families, even with Sherry's father. That is possibly my most favorite scene in the film. That is probably one of my most favorite scenes, top 3. When Cherry and his father, have that fight. Remember that? It's just, we're talking about how parents should be supportive and stuff like that. But here is a man who is supportive. Here's a man who's just looking out because he can see. अजीब बात है, माँ बाप को बड़ी जल्दी पता चल जाता है कि हमारा बच्चा गलत रास्ते पे जा रहा है, इसको, you know, and then how easily they also forgive the child. I think it's one of the best scenes.
Best.
Sherry has
Yeah.
acted beautifully, and Sherry's father has acted amazing.
Sharia, we talked to you for some time. You're like this heartthrob. How do you handle that attention? Of course, I can ask the same question to Myra, but I'll come to that.
Honestly, Supriti, I'm lucky enough to have people around me who know just too well how to keep me grounded. One is two of them are sitting over here, so so fortunately or unfortunately, it's never sunk in that way. So I really don't know.
I'm not agreeing with this, by the way.
Acha.
And two of them who are sitting there are your friends or siblings or parents? Or?
No, I'm talking about Asim, Mahira, Shahzad, all of this lot over here. So,
okay, great. They keep you grounded, you're saying.
Yeah, they keep me grounded.
Okay.
What is that you're saying, Mahira? What is it that you want to say? What do you?
I want to say that, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you.
We can.
I want to say that you can open one more button of your shirt. In honor of being the heartthrob, will you?
थोड़ा दिखाओ, थोड़ा छुपाओ.
ये तो तुमने लाइन चुरा ली.
Okay, so you know what you see right now. This is what I call that family, which was easily adaptable for the screen. You know, I made some effort somewhere else, but you do see the camaraderie here.
Yes.
This was, you know, this really gave me the reason to believe that when these people will come on screen and have the same camaraderie, people would believe in them a lot more than, you know, probably anybody else could do it. Well, coming to your question, frankly speaking, advertising gives us the biggest edge when it comes to focusing on the detail of every single frame. You know, I've seen drama directors and film directors who talk about scenes. And in our language, when it comes to advertising directors, it's about frames. Like how many frames in this shot would have? Can we cut down 2 frames from here and add more frames at the bottom? And that makes all the difference for us. So every single frame has to shine is what we are taught, you know, all our lives. And I think that's surely one edge or one liberty that we get and we take when it comes to telling you know, stories in our longer narratives as well. But yeah, at the same time, what people generally criticize when it comes to advertising directors is that they're too much focus on the aesthetics or aesthetic value of the films and the shots that we conceive. And they feel that sometimes the soul is missing because we're focused too much on the lighting and the makeup or I don't know, cosmetic elements of the frame. And that is what my biggest challenge has been, whether it was Behad as my first telefilm, which was my first narrative, or Homan Jahan, and then later on Parihat, because I wanted to say or tell a story which is coming from the heart. And if it would not touch the heart, I thought it's going to be no good. I might as well then keep doing advertising films for the rest of my life. Hence, it was called Homan Jahan. You know, so it had to be a story coming from my heart and going to hearts and soulful enough for people to immediately connect and relate to it. And you know, if I may say that, you know, the thought which was constantly going in my head when I was writing or shooting or editing this film was that people say that, you know, worst enemies try to harm each other because they're you know, out of ill feelings, people try to hurt each other most. I feel on the contrary, when it comes to our culture somehow, and I'm talking about South Asian culture, we hurt the people we love the most, because we try to force them to do things thinking that's the best for them as well. So we judge them on our standards, our values, and we end up hurting them a lot more. So हम प्यार में ज्यादा तकलीफ पहुंचाते हैं, हम नफरत में इतनी तकलीफ नहीं पहुंचाते। नफरत में तो हम दूर हो जाते हैं एक दूसरे से और एक दूसरे को अपनी मर्जी के लिए छोड़ देते हैं। जब हम प्यार करते हैं तो हम फाइट करते हैं और कोशिश करते हैं कि किसी तरह इसको वर्क कराएं और दूसरे को अपने जैसा बना लें। And I thought, that's exactly what happens between the parents and children as well, because they love them so much that they forget about the fact that हम इनको अब तकलीफ पहुंचा रहे हैं, अब इनको प्यार नहीं कर रहे हैं हम। And that's why that one dialogue which at the end Bushra Ansari said to her child, and she said कि तू मुझे माफ कर दे, क्योंकि अगर तूने मुझे माफ कर दिया तो शायद खुदा भी मुझे माफ कर दे, वरना आज के बाद वो किसी को नेक औलाद नहीं देगा। So, so that was the whole idea, that how to connect and realize that, like these guys were saying, the children are equally important and they also have some sensibility. We can't believe that just because we are older, we know better.
Right. So somebody once said, we judge people, we judge oneself by our intention, and we judge others by their actions.
Very true. Very true. So true.
हम अपने आप को डिफेंड कर लेते हैं कि मेरा तो इंटेंशन सही था, पर जब हम दूसरे को जज कर रहे होते हैं तो हम उसका इंटेंशन नहीं देखते, हम कहते हैं उसने ऐसा किया और उसको हम गलत ठहरा देते हैं।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल।
वेरी नाइस। हर्ष, आप कुछ कह रहे थे?
हाँ, Shreya, I wanted to ask you, you have worked in famous dramas like Zindagi Gulzar Hai, Kahi Unkahi, and many others. In fact, Zindagi Gulzar Hai has been a hit in India as well. So, what interests you more, working in dramas or films, feature films?
Well, to be honest, Harsh, I'm going to be going back to television after a really long time now. I'm going to start a project on television. I think I begin shooting in a week's time or something. So television was something that in Pakistan has always been very important. I think the divide in India is a lot bigger than it is in Pakistan when it comes to television and films, because television is still the primary medium in Pakistan. And it's looked upon that way as well. But when you're doing films, a film takes up an entire year. So I wasn't able to do television for these past few years when I was doing films. But still, it's always been, as an actor in Pakistan, I feel television's always been a medium which is very close to, I think, well, at least my heart and all the other actors that you'll speak to, because you get to work with the best of the best in terms of the industry. All the senior actors, everybody's working in television. So I've been saying this for a long time that, I want to do television, and now I'm a little excited because I'm going back to television. I'm going to be doing a project, and I have huge names around me, all these senior actors. So I'll get to work with them, and then hopefully उनसे जो सीख के आऊँगा फिर मैं films में लगाऊँगा फिर.
Yeah, but as a producer in Pakistan, what kind of contents you think attracts audiences there these days?
Honestly, that's a question जिसका एक बहुत detailed answer है. आप कभी भी एक formula तो नहीं कह सकते ना कि बस ये formula है, ये चाहिए. I think that's, if you stick to that, then if you just stick to the formula in terms of as a producer, कि मैं ये बनाऊंगा because it'll get me my money back. And if I think about it in terms of the box office, then what happens is that unfortunately, then you're killing the artist in you or the kid in you that wanted to do this for a reason. फिर इससे बेहतर है तो फिर तो मैं बहुत बेहतर पैसे किसी और कारोबार में बना लूंगा. I come from a business family, मैं कोई और business कर लेता हूँ. So I can't give you an answer by saying that this is what the audience wants, because I'll be falling prey, मैं अपने trap में फंस जाऊंगा, क्योंकि if I start thinking like that, then I'll only be working on those scripts as an actor or as a producer. Unfortunately, I can't give you an answer to that because I've never allowed myself to answer that question.
Myra, I want to ask a similar question to you. You have also acted in theaters, you have done television dramas, and feature films. So, which medium attracts you, gives you maximum satisfaction?
I haven't ever done theater. I did theater for a film, acted out a theater piece for a film, but I haven't ever. I want to. I think if I was to be honest, I personally think for me, when I've done good work, it satisfied me. If it's just as simple as that. Till date, I remember being on the sets of Humsafar. I remember taking those lines and enjoying them, and then not knowing what to do, completely being clueless. But I remember my director helping me through the process. I remember those moments because I enjoyed it. So and similarly for my film experiences, there are certain film experiences that are just special. So I think it depends on the kind of work that you get. If it's good work from TV, then it's great work from TV. And then if it's great work in film, I think for an actor, it's doesn't change much except for the fact that when I'm looking at myself on the big screen, I feel like a child. I just feel like there I am on this big screen. There's nothing can match that feeling, And in fact, जब शेरी कह रहा था ना कि his mother keeps saying बड़े हो जाओ. The truth is कि artist नहीं बड़ा हो सकता. वो बड़ा हो गया तो I think you have to keep maybe I feel. So yeah, I think that's the beauty of a film and being on the big screen, that dream that you felt as a child. Every single time I sit in the theater, and in my heart I'm like, that's me and I'm doing this. So that's the thing. Otherwise, as an actor, I feel it doesn't matter what you do. At the end of the day, you're on a set, and as long as it's you feel for what you're doing. I think both nowadays they have dance and song ek zamane mein, they used to say dance and song is a film thing. Now they're bringing it to dramas as well, and now with like all these online, what do you call them? Such a online platforms, different platforms. There's everything. It's almost like a film being made. But yeah, the charm of the big screen is the charm of it.
Yeah. By the way, when your Varna trailer was premiering in Karachi, Cineplex, I was there. I was sitting in the same row. Yes, I was sitting next to Badar Ikrami.
No way.
Oh, wow.
Oh wow! Did I meet?
Small world.
No?
Yeah, there are many people, so you might not have noticed, but I just.
Oh wow! So the day the trailer played.
Yeah, trailer played when Shoaib Saab didn't appear.
Oh no! He was there. He was there.
Oh.
Yes, you need a Mr. India watch for Shoaib Saab. He's always there. You just can't see him.
By the way, you played a Gujarati girl in Rais. So any particular Gujarati food you came across which you liked? Any Gujarati dish?
Particular Gujarati?
Food you came across which you liked?
Food. Foodie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
You must know.
Oh yeah. I like dhoklas.
Wow.
I like. There was another thing I had with everybody. I went to Ahmedabad,
Mhm.
So I don't know. मुझे नहीं याद कि मैंने क्या खाया. But मैं constantly मंगवा रही थी. I wherever I go, whatever city, I asked people, and I know that I shouldn't ask like Rahul or a Sharo. I know exactly who to ask. I'm like, I think I'll ask the spot boy or the this or the that, and then I asked them. I was like, यहाँ क्या मिलता है? So I had delicious food in Ahmedabad.
Gujaratis are known to be foodies. They're always carrying a lot of food with them, especially when they travel. They have like an extra suitcase of food always, and it's yummy food.
You're so right. I had a housemate in LA, and his mother used to make all this Gujarati food. every day. And you know, there's also this biscuit type thing. Um,
Khakra.
biscuit mein wo- kya?
Khakra.
Hey,
It's a crisp, patli
I
si roti
love it.
jaisa. हाँ.
I love it.
Yeah, so one question I want to ask everyone, like this platform which I'm creating, Indus Valley Digital, to facilitate filmmakers, creative professionals from across South Asia to connect with each other, collaborate, or at least learn from each other's art, what they are doing, and maybe also plan co-productions, joint ventures. And when I say South Asia, I'm talking about all South Asian countries, Bangladesh, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, India. And maybe we present South Asian creative industry as a unified industry to the world so that it can create a larger access to larger market for filmmakers. So what do you think about this platform which I'm creating?
Well, honestly speaking, I first of all, I really feel honored and want to thank you for letting us be part of this, because this is a wonderful initiative. I think I was saying that initially when I think we hadn't started recording. I would like to repeat myself by saying that, like in today's world where we talk about connecting people and how world is coming together and our problems and issues are shared, and we get to realize that how similar our lives are, it is very, very important for us to understand the different colors and shades coming from different cultures and how they can actually come together with our colors and shades and make a much better rainbow as compared to what we've been doing for the last so many years. And I think this initiative is giving us, if nothing else, a possibility and a reason to watch each other's work, get excited by new ideas, and get to know about not only the filmmakers but the actors and technicians, and the camera is handled by a certain person, and if I like a treatment, I immediately go and check who was behind the camera for this. So this is almost like you're creating a new directory for us, all of us. And I think that's a huge contribution, and I really wish you all the luck, because I hope that this goes bigger and bigger by the minute that you're working on it, and would be most excited to be part of it whenever I can be.
Chairya, आप कुछ कहें?
Firstly, I would like to thank you guys for having us. It was amazing to meet all of you and to be part of this. I think it's always a wonderful idea, like Asim said, to have a platform where different people from different places can get together, different ideas can get together. So I think it's a wonderful idea, and I'd love to be part of it in the future as well. If there's something that we can that we do that you want us to share with you, I would love to be part of this.
Sure, Shahriyar, because it gives access to larger market to our creative professionals, and we have a cultural and historical legacy to leverage upon.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
Very true.
yeah, no,
Very true.
Mahira, आपकी क्या opinion है?
I agree with Asim and Sherry both. I think what Asim said, I never actually thought of that. That's so true. And thank you. I'd like to thank you and Supriti. Am I saying your name right, Supriti? Thanks. For having us actually here. But it's so true. You are actually creating a directory of all these, artists, and whether it's the actors or the directors or the technicians involved. And I think that's very amazing. We all get to see each other's work. And more often than not, like you said, because of our historical and cultural legacy, and shared historical and cultural history, most of the time we're connecting with all the films that we watch. That is why we connect with it, because it almost feels like this is our home. I felt this. I've heard this. So I think you've taken a very, very positive initiative. I think in a world where everyone is sort of just trying to separate people or feed the negativity
Divide,
of the people,
basically.
the divide, we need more people who will actually lessen the divide, who talk about coming together, and we underestimate actually even a voice. We underestimate it completely.
Yeah.
Because you started off as a voice, and today it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us. So, I can only thank you for having us.
Thank you. In fact, I was curating the Pakistan International Film Festival in 2018 when it was organized in March. I led a delegation of 25 top filmmakers from India to Pakistan, and I had interacted with them.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you
Harsh
so
has
much.
always
Asim, yeah. Go
done things. Yeah, please, Smriti, what we saying?
Asim, I'm saying from being an architect of brick and mortar to hopefully being an architect of society through cinema. Hats off to you, and may you really
Thank you.
grow.
This is just a start, and I really want to go a long way. I find myself very young, trust me, in every way when it comes to a filmmaker as well as an artist. And yes, what is exciting for me is the fact that every time I do something, I realize there's so much more to learn, and there's so much more to experience. And that gives me the thirst. Obviously, after every film, I feel, oh, I'm really tired now. I don't know if I can take on another huge mammoths like this again on. And then I realized, no, but the kind of learning experiences that I had, they gave me so much fun and this new world. It was like going to a new Disneyland every year kind of situation. And yeah, I mean, it is a blessing that God has given me an opportunity to keep trying this every few years, if not every year. So I would love to do that. And thank you for watching our film. Thank you for actually giving it so much thought that, it was literally touching me every time you were quoting, just taking Nadir's name and Arhan's name was giving me so much pleasure that I realized that, anybody who goes to cinema is actually not watching a film. They're actually reading, your own story in a book by your name. And it's like a window in your bedroom. And they actually get to know you so much better. So if anybody like me who likes to tell their stories gets an audience like you guys, I can't ask for more. There's nothing else I can for, to be honest. Yeah.
Asim bhai, I'll just take one question from viewer. Last question.
Sure.
Shweta writes, it's for you. Lovely film, Ho Man Jahan. Very good performance and not a frame wasted. I just thought that in the end, the Coke Studio performance of the band could have been a soulful number rather than the peppy number. That would have gone with the mood. Tell me what you think, Mr. Raja.
So honestly speaking, for me, that Nazia Zohaib song, Dosti, which came at the end, really sums up my story because सबसे महंगी है, चलती रहती है, रुकती नहीं, दोस्ती, तेरे लिए, मेरे लिए, सबके लिए. So I actually believe that the purest relation a human has ever discovered in this world is friendship. All the other relationships are actually by some way or the other forced upon us, or we are born with them. But friendship is the only relationship that we choose out of our own goodwill and choice, if I may call it. So, and again, Nazia and Zohaib, for some odd reason, are really close to my heart. So I thought, giving a number which would echo with not only my message, but with a lot of people, because not just in Pakistan, but I think in this part of the world, as well as around the world, I think Nazia Zohaib are a wonderfully, if I may call it, loved, artists of this world. They've been loved like crazy. And if I can say something in a new light today, the same song, which they have heard many times, and they'll hear it this time in this light, that we have spoken for the last 2 hours about a story which is culminating at this point, and we come back with this song. I thought it surely did give me goosebumps, and I'm sorry if somebody did not enjoy it as much, but that's how I looked at it. Yeah, But I
You know,
completely take the
I
criticism,
have
and
to
I'm
say
sure
this.
maybe it's a learning for me also.
I come from a generation which grew up on Nazia and Zohaib. So, like, even 20 years ago, we were listening to
Yeah.
them, and Nazia with her lovely flowing straight hair, and, you know, like Myra said, swaying. And so I really connected with that. I didn't bring it up earlier, but yeah, it was lovely actually having them.
So now it is time to screen the film. So before we screen the film, Asim bhai, I would request you to just say two sentences about film before we start the screening.
Sorry, your voice is breaking, Harsh.
Yeah. So could you just introduce the film in 2 lines before we start the screening?
Well, all I would like to say is that this is a story of not just friends, but families too. It is not just for youth, but the parents too. It is a story of me and you. And I really hope that when you watch it, you connect with it, or at least a character, just like everyone else that I've met so far in my life and have told me that they'd always connected with some character of it, and they felt that it was their own story. And I really hope that when people watch it again, they would find something which connects them and touches their heart too.
Thank you all for joining. Thank you, Asim bhai. Thank you, Shahriyar. Thank you, Maida. Thanks a lot. It was a lovely interaction.
Same
All
here. We
enjoyed a
really
lot.
had a great time. Thank you guys, and thank you so much, Supriti. And I hope to see you guys soon sometime.
And we think we should
Thank
quite
you.
often meet.
Thank you, everyone.
Yes.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
having us.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye bye.
Bye. Take care. I hope
Bye.
you enjoy the film.
Yes.
Bye.
Thanks a lot. Bye.